It's been an offensive struggle for the Athletics over the past 2 days. 3 hits in 2 games versus the Indians have the green and gold frustrated. With 2 months of baseball to be played, Bo Mel and the boys need to get out of their funk and get back to winning baseball. The A's are in the midst of a season-long 11-game homestand, and with 2 playoff contenders coming to town next week, the A's want to play spoiler, get on a roll, and feel good about this 2015 season. It's the A's and the Indians, Game 3, next. We are set for Saturday Night Baseball from the O.K. Coliseum. Indians have won the first 2 games of the series tonight. We're excited for the A's debut of right-hander Aaron Brooks. He's going to start for the Athletics. It's Game 3 of this 4-game series. It's the Oakland A's hosting the Cleveland Indians. You'll see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with my broadcast partner, Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. The A's got 2 young pitchers from the Kansas City Royals in the Ben Zobrist trade, and we get to see one of them tonight, the right-hander Aaron Brooks.
Well, with Scott Kazmir being traded to Kansas City, or to Houston, it did open up a spot in the rotation, so Aaron Brooks gets the opportunity tonight, and it's got to be very exciting for him because he leaves an organization, comes to a new one, he has to meet the players, but I think for him getting a chance to start a ball game for his new ball club, and this has to be very exciting for him tonight. He's got a good fastball, a mixture of pitches. The Indians, of course, seeing him for the first time, so it couldn't help him as far as Brooks is concerned. But I think the biggest thing for him, put the green and gold on and getting a chance to pitch tonight at the Coliseum.
Speaking of pitching, we've seen a lot of it in this series, really from both teams, but I think the A's are going to say we've seen way too much. 2 runs and 3 hits total in this series.
Hard to believe an offense in 2 games could get just 3 hits. You have to go back to 1953. But Salazar and Carrasco have been outstanding in the first 2 games, and you really have to look at what they've done. The A's hitters have been unable to do anything really because of the way they have pitched. Been a lot of frustrations on a lot of the players, slamming bats, slamming helmets, but bottom line, the pitchers have pitched well. A's offense have really not been able to do anything, so they hope to change that tonight. But really, you have to tip your hat to the pitching of the Cleveland Indians so far in the first 2 games of this series.
And the Indians will send their own rookie right-hander to the mound, Cody Anderson. He will be making his 7th Major League start. So the A's will try to get a win in this series. They've dropped the first 2 games. Game 3 of 4 is coming up. It's the A's and the Indians. We'll have lineups and first pitch in just a moment.
is brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
That is Aaron Brooks, A's debut tonight here at the Coliseum, wearing number 36 in the all-white uniforms for the Athletics. So we're looking forward to seeing the young right-hander. Game time weather for tonight presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 72 degrees with a nice light breeze. So a beautiful night for baseball. Early start, 1 hour earlier. So this time of year, always pretty nice weather at the Coliseum. Here's the lineup for the Cleveland Indians in Game 3 of this series. Jason Kipnis will DH again, and then it's Lindor, Brantley, Santana, Gomes, Chisenhall, Urshela, Bourne, and Aviles. It looks like the same lineup as last night.
And it will be Aaron Brooks, as we have mentioned, making his Oakland A's debut. And for him on the season, that was at Omaha, AAA for Kansas City. 6-5 of the 371 earned run average, and looks like his strikeout to walk ratio is very good, which is always nice. A 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, but good fastball, 2 and 4 seam of the cutter, and then the curveball, slider, and changeup for Aaron Brooks, who I'm sure has a few folks on hand tonight to watch his Oakland A's debut.
Defensively behind Aaron Brooks, the A's will have Canna in left, Fold in center, Reddick in right, and Muncy, Simeon, Sogard, and Davis around the infield, and Stephen Vogt is your catcher. So Billy Burns will get a night off. Brett Lawrie will get a night off.
What's he going to do?
He's going to talk to people.
We ought to bring him up here, and then we could just go home.
He'd be a good color analyst.
And I think there'd be so much built-up energy for him to have a night off. Skipper might put him in the game halfway through just to get him off the bench. There are guys, some guys who are like that, but I'm sure the body for him, he won't have to stretch as much.
First pitch of the game is a fastball a little outside to Jason Kipnis. So we're underway.
First pitch, 6:08.
Couple of wins for the Indians in the first 2 games of this series. It's been a series with lots of pitching. 3-1 final on Thursday night, 2-1 final last night. So the A's searching for some offense. Try to get it for Aaron Brooks tonight. Kipnis drives one toward left center, but it's playable for Canna, who makes the catch, and that's the first out of the ballgame. Umpires tonight. It is Stu Shearwater behind the dish, then Cuzzy, Davis, and Davis. Jerry Davis is the crew chief. First pitch to Lindor is a fastball inside.
Well, he fits right in. Brooks does with the rest of the starters on this ball club. They like to get the ball and throw quickly.
Muncy takes care of that. 2 away.
Nothing better than to see a starting pitcher get the ball and throw. Everybody's happy, especially throwing strikes. This is what he throws, predominantly a fastball pitcher, and he will throw a changeup, a curve, and a slider. But the fastball, he throws 3 different types, and that'd be the 2 and 4 seam. 4 seam straight, 2 seam will be a sinker, and then the cut fastball, which a lot of pitchers have come up with, and been a very good pitch for them, including Brooks.
2 outs. Here's Michael Brantley. Brooks is 6'4", 220 pounds, and he's 25 years old. So good size for a pitcher from San Bernardino. Brantley hits one high and foul down the left field line. Muncy on the move. He won't get it. Ninth round pick in 2011 of the Kansas City Royals. 4.5 years in the minor leagues. couple appearances at the big league level.
ERA is inflated because of those few appearances, but you look more at what he's done in AAA and forget about the minimal time he spent in the big leagues. And once you get the inflated ERA, it's going to come down quickly with a few appearances.
And Brantley has a base hit into right field.
Now, we always talk about location, and for a pitcher, first two batters he made good pitches, but the 0-2 was a 93 mile an hour fastball, but elevated kind of towards the middle of the plate. And Brantley, who waits well, and was able to get on top of that ball instead of getting under and driving. The ball's going to carry well this time of the night, and we know for sure tomorrow.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So Brantley aboard, and here's Carlos Santana. Pitch that was a little up, but Santana went after it anyways and rolls it foul back behind home plate. The Indians in this series have scored 5 runs. Now with 16 hits. Well, neither team has really done a whole lot offensively, but the Indians have done just enough. Santana has the only home run in the series for the Indians. And this one's hit in the air, playable for Canna. He's under it, makes the catch, side retired. A hit and a runner left in the first inning, so a good first inning for Aaron Brooks. Here come the A's in the bottom of the bottom of the first. Sam Fold is in the leadoff spot tonight. Then Vogt, Reddick, Butler, Davis, Canna, Muncy, Simeon, and Sogard.
It's rather odd that you have two pitchers facing the opposing team. Nobody's ever faced them. The A's are seeing Cody Anderson for the first time, but the reaction of the crowd when he took the mound sounds like there's quite a few of his family and friends here to watch him as he is making the start against the Athletics tonight. See his numbers on the season, making his 7th start. Fastball mid-90s and a cutter just like Brooks. But I think the odds are with the A's that since they've only come up with 3 hits in the first 2 games that eventually going to break out, and maybe that will be tonight.
That's the Anderson group. They're right back up behind the Indians dugout, and they were standing and cheering their guy Cody Anderson.
I thought it was Brett Anderson. Oh, he's with the Dodgers now.
Cody Anderson from Quincy, California, which is up in the Tahoe area, just a little northwest of Tahoe. So that group has made the trip.
And at 6'4", 235, he can be in anything he wants to be.
He's a big fella.
He wants to do and be anything, he can do it.
So I think that group's going to have a good time tonight, whatever happens. 2-0 to Sam Fold, Vogt to follow, and then Reddick. Sam Fold trying to get something going here in the first inning. 1. Fold hitting 206, homer and 15 RBIs.
His crew and family and friends down there cheering on every strike. Could be a noisy evening.
And there's a leadoff walk, so a good start for the A's.
Yeah, again, predominantly the fastball. You throw the 2 and 4 seam, the cutter, change up, and a curveball, but
Batting in the second position.
looking at 85% of fastballs and changeups, that says a lot. But the cutter also in the mix, which is a very good pitch to throw. And right now, he'd just like to be like Aaron Brooks and get through the first inning. A warm evening, at least from their standpoint.
Vote 266, 14 homers and 58 RBIs. And he bunts it, and it's just going to roll foul. Not by much.
Good idea. Just could not get it on the grass.
Quick look at the Indians' defense. It's Brantley, Bourne, and Chisenhall in the outfield. Urshela, Lindor, Aviles, and Santana on the infield. And Jan Gomes is your catcher. Again, same group as last night. So Terry Francona says, you know what? Win some games in a row. Keep that same group out there. And the Indians have won 3 in a row. A's have lost 3 in a row.
Jason Kipnis, his second baseman in the last couple of games at DH. Trying to learn about managing from the skipper.
The lead by Fold at first. That one fouled just to our left.
Just trying to think, how does the Anderson family behind the dugout counteract what the group is doing in right field about Stephen Vogt?
Yeah.
I mean, they're very loud. They believe in Stephen Vogt, and he is just trying to get back on the track and change up a lot of things, just trying to see if he can do that.
Oh, 2 pitch, cued, foul. So it's not pretty for the A's right now, but in this series, if you think about Thursday night, they got their hits in the very first inning. So they have 1 hit in their last 17 innings in this series, and that is, it's hard to believe. 1 hit in the last 17 innings.
Yeah, the amazing thing with that stat that you just mentioned, it's one thing to say they've been shut out for 17 innings. Very hard to believe you can say only 1 hit in 17 innings. That
exactly. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that is something that's very hard to understand and believe it could happen. And it's not like you're facing Cy Youngs every night, although Carrasco and Salazar pitch like it.
1-2 pitch to Vogt is grounded right to the shortstop. Out at second, Aviles turns the double play. So 2 outs here in the first inning.
Well, a perfectly executed double play.
Right fielder.
Exactly where Anderson would like to have seen it hit is Stephen Vogt. He at least is thinking about the opposite field, but could not go far enough to the right of Lindor to get the ball into the outfield.
So here's Reddick. Ray, in that stretch of 17 innings, this is the last thing I'm going to tell you. The A's have had 56 at bats. They are 1 for their last 56. Now that is very, very, very hard to do. 1 for 56.
Unless you're facing Johnny Vandermeer in back-to-back starts, and he no hit
back-to-back games.
Back-to-back, yeah. I mean that's just hard to believe, but that's why they're due. So maybe Cody Anderson could be thinking about, will the A's break out tonight? I hope so. A couple of weeks ago, tomorrow they had 5 home runs. A little bit too far for Josh Reddick.
The 2-1 pitch is hit toward left. Brantley backing up. Brantley in front of the wall, and he makes the catch. Side retired. Leadoff walk. A's do nothing with it, so we're going to the second. No score. 25 years old. Montclair, California is where he was born. Picked by the Royals in the draft of 2011. And last year, pitcher of the year for Omaha. That's the AAA affiliate of the Royals. His numbers this year at the time of the trade. And that right there is the family of Aaron Brooks. So they're into it. So we're going to keep an eye on them, make sure they're doing all right. Brooks gave up a 2-out hit in the first inning, nothing else. And his first pitch to Yan Gomes is outside. Indians are 48-54. They got that good road record. They're 28-22 on the road. That's the second best road record in the major leagues. 28-22. So home is the problem, where they're 20-32.
And they have a very good home park to play in. That's a little surprising. And the Indians fans really hungry for a winner, as we showed last time they won a world championship was in '48.
So 2-2 to Gomes. Chisenhall will be next, and then Urshela. Indians finished the month of July with a 13-13 record. The A's finished July 10-14. So we are on to August.
Good.
You ready for August? I think the A's are ready for it.
I don't know if Clay Wood is, because Clay's got something to deal with a couple of weeks. But that's another story. Right now, the A's trying to get started in the month of August and get back with a winning month.
Gomes is retired. 1 out here in the second inning. The team that had the best month of July was the New York Yankees. They went 17-7. Team that had the worst month, the Rays, 9-16. As far as the AL West goes, the Angels were 14-10. Astros were 12-12. Mariners were 12-15. Rangers were 10-14. Chisenhall takes inside, 1-1. Pirates were 17-9. White Sox 16-10. The White Sox made a little move.
Well, it's such a big move. They decided to be buyers instead of sellers, or at least not doing anything. Because there was a time they were going to unload everybody, or at least those who might be free agents, Samardzija included.
1-2 to Chisenhall. And now the count 2-2.
Families of both of these pitchers, and we showed the families, and they're thinking, get some runs, please. Get some runs, and because to get some runs, it makes it a little bit easier for that pitcher on the mound to pitch better.
And a swing and a miss. That's the first strikeout for Aaron Brooks. He gets Chisenhall for the second out here in the second inning.
I think we know which family that is right there. You just tell. Good fastball, good strikeout, and snuck it by.
39, Giovanni Urshela.
Is that Exmo? It's in
that
Exmo.
Is great. Here's Giovanni Urshela. Urshela hitting .254. He's got 3 home runs. 1 for 7 in this series.
Well, just the one thing, Omaha, AAA, Oakland, Major Leagues. I mean, that in itself for the family to be excited, and the young man gets to see Mickey Morbido and get the pass list already for the family and friends to watch in his Oakland debut.
And that one's hit high in the air, left center. where Sam Fuld gets under it. He's got it, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Aaron Brooks. Everybody's happy so far as we go to the bottom of the second. No score. Get grilling. Bottom of the second inning. Billy Butler leading it off. First pitch from Cody Anderson is inside. 242 for Butler, 9 homers, 46 RBIs. 0 for 6 in the series. Good pitch there, right on the outside corner. It's the 7th major league start for Cody Anderson. And that one is a base hit. So Butler leads off the second inning with a hit.
Billy Butler with a 1-1, and the fastball came right back into the middle part of the plate. And they have movement on a pitch, which a pitcher likes to have, but you don't not want to see it go back to the middle. And Billy Butler taking advantage, really, of a mistake by Anderson, but Billy Butler will take it. The A's will take it. It'd be nice to have a pitcher pitch out of the stretch, although Carrasco pitched out of the stretch the whole game. He didn't have to, though, on Thursday night.
So here's Ike Davis. Fastball up and away to Ike Davis. Davis 240, 3 homers and 18 RBIs. He's 0 for 6 in the series with a couple of strikeouts. Canada follow here in the second inning.
Well, one thing pitchers like the movement, which you mentioned about the ball going to the middle of the play with Billy Butler, but if you get movement, usually it's going to result in ground balls. And Ike Davis trying to get the ball elevated, not hit it on the ground.
He reaches for this one and drives it right center field, and it is off the wall. Here comes Butler, and they're going to hold him up, and the A's have second and third and nobody out. So it looked like Ike Davis was out in front a little bit.
Off-speed pitch, and he was out in front, but kept the hands on the bat, reached for it, and drove it in the right center. That's where he hit his first Oakland home run at target field into the right center field seats, and almost did it again in the Xfinity sign. Billy Butler saw it all the way, saw it was going to drop, but just not blessed with a lot of speed. So he was busted it, but Mike Geiger said, "Big boy, shut it down right there. Got to shut it down."
So Canna steps in.
I'm just happy to have somebody over to talk to him.
Yes,
first 2 games, he's got that big windmill windup tomorrow. It's given away. He wants to get the arm moving tonight.
Canna bounces one. That should get a run home, and it will as Butler trots in. So the A's take a 1-0 lead here in the second inning as Canna gets the RBI ground out.
And you notice Ike Davis did not go to third, and there's a reason. It's because the ball was hit hard directly to Aviles, and Ike Davis, I think, understands that Aviles with the ball hit that hard, it's not a guarantee that he's going to make the third safely.
He would not have made it.
He would not, no, and it was a smart play on his part not to go, although Mark Canna did a very good job hitting the ball on the ground to the opposite side, and under normal circumstances probably would have advanced him, but not in this case.
So Canna gets his 34th RBI, and here's Muncy. Muncy, big rip at the first pitch. Muncy 203, couple of home runs. He was brought up on Tuesday when the A's were in Los Angeles. This is his first action since being called up. He did not quite get to the game on time though on Tuesday.
Yeah, he had little problems, a few problems.
I think he arrived well after the game was over.
He was explaining to somebody in the clubhouse, and it was so long and detailed, I got tired of listening. I just walked away. I was trying to put the lineup in my book, and it was like forever to get it all explained.
Anderson throws to first, and Muncy's retired. Davis does go to third. So 2 away for Simeon.
Batting in the 8th position, shortstop, number 10, Marcus Simeon.
So Simeon trying to get a 2-out hit. Simeon hitting .245, 8 home runs, 22 RBIs. And he drives one to right field. Chisenhall over, and he makes the catch. Side retired. A run on 2 hits for the A's, so we're going to the third. It's the A's 1 and the Indians nothing. We're talking about the great road record of the Cleveland Indians. Only the Rangers have a better road record this year. Cardinals and Cubs also on there. So 6 games over 500 on the road. Rangers 7 games over. Problem for the Rangers, Ray, hard to believe they're 19-28 at home.
And it's just the opposite of what normally happens or that you want to happen when you start a season. And it's the old saying that play well at home and 500 on the road. Those two teams just the opposite. Way opposite.
Bourne, Aviles, and Kipnis here in the third inning against Aaron Brooks. Good pitch there, and it's 0-2. Brooks has given up one hit. He's got one strikeout so far. And on 3 pitches, Michael Bourne is gone, and that is strikeout number 2.
0-2 changeup, but a good one from Brooks. And again, these Indians hitters seeing Brooks for the first time, and comes out of his hand like his fastball, but the good changeup at 82 to Michael Bourne. Must have foul tipped it and thought it hit the ground, did not.
So 1 away. Here's Aviles, and the first pitch is a fastball outside. .224 for Aviles. He's got 4 home runs. Drives this one toward right, but Reddick gets back, and he's got it. So 2 outs here in the third inning. Keep you updated on the pennant races going on. Dodgers beat the Angels this afternoon 3-1 behind Clayton Kershaw, who did not give up a run. 8 shutout innings for Kershaw, and his scoreless inning streak is now at 37 consecutive innings. So he's making that interesting. So Clayton Kershaw beats Andrew Heaney today. Well, the Angels have lost 5 in a row, so they're struggling right now.
And Heaney had a great month of July, 4-0.
Yep. He pitched well today, man. You're not going to get a whole lot off Clayton Kershaw the way he's pitching right now. So the Angels' 5th consecutive loss. This bounces it foul. And on the other hand, the Houston Astros are winning big at home, 9-2 in the 7th inning over Arizona. So Houston right now with a 2.5 game lead in the AL West. Astros playing well. Angels are not. 1-2 to Kipnis, who had a fly ball to left field in the first inning.
Well, amazing thing for the Astros if they continue to play well and continue to surprise a lot of people. But if they win the division, they don't have to worry about the 1-game play-in to try to get to the division series and have an automatic at least a 5-game series to start out. And considering where they thought they would be this time of the year, it's got to be a huge plus for them. I remember talking to some of the Astros when we were in the early part of the season when they were off to a good start. Simply said the Astros are not as good as they seem to be, and I'm sure the A's are going to be better than what they are. Well, it's just not turned out that way for both clubs, actually. The Astros have continued, and more power to them.
Yeah, just when you think they may start to slide, they don't, and then they make a couple of big trades at the deadline. 3-2 pitch to Kipnis. Swung at ball 4, rolls it foul.
You know, if the Astros had traded for Chris Young, then you knew at that point the Astros are going to win. Because
that's true.
The way Chris Young, now the Yankees and formerly with the Athletics and Diamondbacks, the way he hits in his home city, Minute Maid Park, unbelievable. But he's still the Yankees.
Kipnis toward Canna. Now Canna comes in. He's got it. So that's 7 in a row retired by Aaron Brooks, and the A's with a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the third. CSNCalifornia.com and check out our A's insider Joe Stiglitz. He provides wire-to-wire reporting for this 2015 season. He's got breaking news, video, special features, and much, much more. Only on CSNCalifornia.com.
Did you see those outfits?
I like them.
Wow. Cute t-shirt. Rookie. A few rookies on this team from both teams, actually. You think about it.
1-0 the A's lead. Sogard, Fold, and Vogt. Driven to center. Bourne, who's playing pretty shallow, is there.
Well, thankfully, the A's got 2 hits last inning because Eric Sogard was the last hit the A's had gotten was the 3rd inning of last night. And that was it. 1 hit, 1 unearned run in the 3rd inning. And it was the extent of the A's offense last night. Isn't it nice that every day is a new day, that you can forget about things that were bad the day before and the game before?
Sam Full led off the bottom of the first with a walk. He was erased on a double play. And it's 1-1. Cody Anderson was terrific in his first 4 starts, but his last 2 have not been good. He's trying to turn that around tonight. He's looked pretty good so far. In his first 4 starts, he allowed 3 earned runs in 30 innings. So he was rolling along, feeling pretty good. Right to Santana, who scoops it, and that's the second out. In his last 2 starts before tonight, 11 earned runs in 8 1/3 innings. So he just got knocked around, but it looks like the Indians are going to be part of this rotation and hope that he turns out like the other guys they got. So he was sitting at a 0.89 ERA, feeling pretty good. The start in Milwaukee a couple starts ago, 4 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings. That was the first of the 2 bad starts. And then 7 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings against the Royals. Decent minor league numbers. He's got a lot to live up to with the other 4 guys in that rotation who have pitched well for the Indians. We'll see Trevor Bauer tomorrow. Vogt with a good swing. Trevor Bauer, we did not see him in Cleveland. The A's played there, took 2 out of 3. Bauer and Sonny Gray tomorrow in the series finale. Swing and a miss by Stephen Vogt, and a good inning for Cody Anderson. That's his first strikeout of the night. We're going to the 4th. A's 1, Indians 0.
3 previous starts, he had elevated a lot of pitches, but last night he worked quickly and gave up an unearned run, and that was it. Had a chance to go 7 complete, but the unearned run, but strikeouts, the ground ball outs, everything. And as he said tonight, it's a game of adjustments. He made the adjustments and got through it last night. Pitched well, no decision.
Lindor swings at a first pitch changeup and rolls it to second, and that's out number 1. So 2 walks, 6 strikeouts last night for Graveman in his no decision.
From Graveman and for all the pitchers really to build on for the future, and every start is important. I think as you talked about Anderson, the last couple of starts for him, you start looking at the season overall and you evaluate when the season's over. And you know, some players have said, and it's a very good statement, you don't get too high, too low, just play it out, and when it's all over you can look back and see how well you've done. In the case of pitchers, you get 34 to 35 starts.
Oh, 1 to Michael Brantley. Brantley has the only hit for the Indians, a 2-out single in the first. 8 in a row retired by Aaron Brooks. Brooks at 40 pitches, so his pitch count is very low so far.
Might as well go 9, huh?
That's right. And now 3-1. Carlos Santana is the on-deck hitter. Pitch is a good one, right at the knees, 92 miles an hour. So full count.
You know, Aaron Brooks making his Oakland debut, but from the standpoint of Stephen Vogt, his family looks on again in the 3-2, but Stephen Vogt just tried to guide him through this lineup tonight.
Sam Fuld is there, and that's 2 outs.
Graveman defensively last night was also outstanding, especially in the first inning. A slow hit ball by Santana. This would have been a base hit. Nobody would have gotten to it, but Graveman did from his knees throughout Santana. What a great play. And then the pickoff, Lindor originally called safe, but the call overturned as Jerry Davis heard from New York, and they said he's out, which he was. So good effort also by Kendall Graveman with a good move.
First pitch curve for a strike from Brooks. Santana hit a fly ball to left field in the first inning. Shows bunt and pokes at it and fouls it to the screen with the shift on Muncy playing the shortstop spot. So he gave it a shot. Oh, 2 pitch is inside. I think you do have to remember, and a lot of times you. Anyway, listen, I've said it. Just lay a bunt down. It's an automatic hit.
Hey,
it's not that easy to bunt, even though you think that it would be. But
certain guys, yes, but those certain guys don't have the shift on. It's just like
exactly
this. So
right.
Santana is probably not one hitting cleanup that he's going to be thinking about that, especially when he does his hitting.
Nice play by Ike Davis. He'll take it himself. So right now Aaron Brooks is rolling along another 3-up, 3-down inning, and we're going to the bottom of the 4th. The A's leading 1-0.
this poem again and again and again with the Mike Gallego Windmill Wind-Up Toy presented by Advantel Networks. Tomorrow, 15,000 fans will receive the first of its kind giveaway. A's third base coach when the A's take on the Cleveland Indians in a Sunday matinee. Get your tickets right now today at athletics.com or by calling 877-493-BALL. We'll see how long the lines are tomorrow when we show up at the O.co. Mike Gallego. What a day that will be.
What a chuckle every time I see that action figure. It kind of makes me laugh.
Well, tomorrow we can have one right here in the booth. We'll push it and say, let's go, Gags.
When there's a rally, we're going to just get Gags moving. Reddick, Butler, and Davis here in the fourth.
He used to have the Bill King, late Bill King's bobblehead of the cause, and want a rally, just push the button in the booth and start a rally. Bill King's calls.
So 2-2. Now come on, tell me that doesn't make you chuckle just a little bit.
Hey, just look at the smile on Gag's face. I mean, that's great. You know, for 3 games he's been very quiet, so maybe he's leading up to tomorrow when he's really going to be active. I mean, he wanted to send Billy Butler so badly, but he just could not do it.
His arm's tight. He hasn't been using it much. So 2-2 to Reddick, who hit a fly ball to really deep left field toward the line in the first inning. And lines that one foul.
I'd like to get one of those mechanical arms.
Yeah, you need one.
Two of them.
Two and two. And Reddick chased a pitch down and in, and that's the second strikeout for Cody Anderson.
Now, pitch out of the strike zone, but it had to have looked pretty good to Josh Reddick, but off line, not the location where Yan Gomes wanted it, but Josh Reddick down and in. You see the kind of a screwball effect, and Josh, no contact. And the A's got excited when they scored a run in the second inning. They also scored a run in the third inning last night, had a 1-0 lead. And there are some teams, and they say just stay close, and you get a chance. Well, the A's need to add on, and one, you're depending on your pitcher to pitch a shutout. Unfortunately, it didn't happen last night as the Indians came up with 2 late.
So 2-0 to Butler, who singled and scored in the second inning. He's with 2 hits in the game. Indians with 1. So not a lot of offense again tonight for either team. Three 3-0 to Butler. And that one in for a strike, 93 miles an hour. Astros still leading the Diamondbacks 9-2. That game now in the 8th inning. And that one at the knees, and now it's 3-2.
It's called a strike, but I don't know it's a great pitch to hit, and that's why Billy Butler taking his chance on a 3-2 pitch.
And he hits it hard right past Mike Gallego, and a nice play. Got a nice hop off the bullpen pitcher's mound.
Scotty likes the hard plays. He wants to dive, get the uniform dirty, although Cliffy won't clean it. Just has to clean his own. He was so excited last night he was actually warming up pitchers. He said, "You see me?"
And that one drops in. Strike 3 called. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Cody Anderson.
Well, he pulled the string again. Very good off-speed pitch, and he's got the screwball effect. He throws the changeup, and it stayed in the strike zone, freezing Butler, and had probably thinking if you could throw a 3-2 changeup and throw it for a strike, tip your hat. Reddick swung at a pitch out of the strike zone, similar with the changeup, and Butler took that one.
So Butler goes back to the dugout, and here's Ike Davis. Davis doubled in the second, and that helped the A's get a run. Cannon, the next hitter, got the RBI ground out. That's the only run in the game. And now it's 0-2. Little hot cold zone for Ike Davis. Red means good, blue means bad.
Throw him right down the middle and you're going to get hurt. He's going to hit it hard.
Up and in, down and away.
High, tight, low and away. You could probably say that about a lot of hitters.
That chart right there.
Yep.
Most hitters would fall into that category. Pitch, center, shallow. Bourne on the move, makes the catch. Side retired. So Cody Anderson's rolling along as well. He's retired 9 in a row. 1-0 A's lead after 4. By PG&E, together building a better California. So the A's with a 1-0 lead. It's the 5th inning. Aaron Brooks making his A's debut has been good. Just 1 hit allowed. He's retired 10 in a row.
47 pitches. That's great. Over 4 innings. Just exactly what you'd like to see in a pitcher, and especially he does not have any room to think about if he makes a bad pitch, because with a 1-0 lead, every pitch is important, and he's making some good ones.
So 0-1 to Yan Gomes, who grounded to short his first at bat. Breaking ball stays outside. Muncy scoops it up, and that's the first out. 11 in a row retired by Aaron Brooks.
Now batting,
not a lot of hard contact.
Lonnie Chisenhall.
Brantley's base hit on the 0-2 fastball in the first inning. A pitch that was in that hot zone down the middle.
Yep.
A little bit up, but Brantley hit it hard and got it through the infield. That was it. That was with 2 outs.
Chisenhall swings and misses. Chisenhall struck out swinging in the second inning, and now he's behind in the count 0-2.
Motion, just really from his standpoint, everything is good. The high leg kick and nice stride, follow through, kind of squares himself to the plate to handle the position if it's back to him. Wearing Gaylord Perry's number, number 36. He pitches like Podna, he'll be good.
Good swing there by Chisenhall. He's a good guy right there, Ty Van Berkeley.
Had his family back in Cleveland and went to Cooperstown for the All-Star break. Except all the important people like Jeff Adelson, the president, was at the All-Star game. But
that's true.
He said Cooperstown is the place that you could see several times and see everything new. So Ty looking forward to going back. They had a nice trip during the All-Star break.
Close pitch now, 3-2.
He's got his family with him here. Of course, they're back in Cleveland with him as well. Well, just running off the plate.
Hit in the air and hit well. Right center, gone. Chisenhall homers, and this game is tied. Now Brooks was well ahead in the count, but could not put Chisenhall away.
Well, you're right, 0-2 to 3-2, and a lot of ground ball outs, and challenge him 3-2. Stephen Vogt outside corner, centered, and Chisenhall. That's what the Indians would like to see him do, a little bit more consistent basis. And that is a great swing. Somehow left-handed swings are just that good, and that one was good to the point that Josh Reddick could just watch it. So the A's offense will have to score more than one run.
1-0 to Urshela. And he hits one high and foul down the right field line. So second home run in this series for the Indians. Nice play by that gentleman. Holding on to the pizza box. That is a good play.
Never want to give up the food for a baseball.
Semien out. He's under it. He's got it for the second out. And Michael Bourne will hit.
Number 24, Michael Bourne.
So Brooks now 60 pitches. The Indians have not had a runner in scoring position except for Chisenhall, who, as we like to say, ran right by second base. Muncy in on the grass at third. Bourne likes to bunt, and he swings over top. Remember a couple years ago, the Indians signed Michael Bourne and Nick Swisher both to 4-year contracts. This is year 3 of the 4-year deal. Neither player has done what the Indians had hoped.
See those two pitches he swung over last night. He got a fastball belt high that he hit the right center, and so he goes after those, continuing to go after them.
So Bourne strikes out, but the Indians tie it on the home run by Lonnie Chisenhall. So it's a 1-1 game as we go to the bottom of the 5th. data strong fan and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast, it's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Nice night at the ballpark. And another pitcher's duel. It's a 1-1 game, bottom of the 5th inning. Canada lead it off. Canna, Muncy, Semien. Canna with the RBI ground out in the 2nd inning. 9 in a row retired by Cody Anderson. He dribbled up the 3rd base line, but foul. So 0-2 to Canna. Each team with 2 hits. There has not been an error in the game.
Can only do that with it cupped into the back, because if it's rounded, it's going to fall. But down Gomes, saving the back of Mark Canna. Mark Canna's young enough; he could bend over and get his own back.
Out in front of that one, hits it off the tarp. So Canna slowly steps back in. And swings at a pitch in the dirt. And the foul tip. It looks like it hit the ground. He said foul tip, which means bat hit ball, but the ball hit the ground.
If it hit the ground, then that should be automatic. And here comes Phil Cusian. Another changeup. Canna out in front.
Well, the umpire made the foul tip motion.
Yeah, but it didn't. I think what he was saying is that he caught it, but he made the wrong motion. You're right. He made the foul tip. And if that's foul tip, then it's in the dirt. And that's not a catch. And a few years ago on a playoff game between the White Sox and the Angels, that happened. And Krasinski ran to first base and changed a bit everything in 2005.
So it goes as strikeout number 4 for Cody Anderson. Muncy rips one to right field. Chisenhall on the move. He's not going to get it, and it bounces up into the stands, and Muncy has a 1-out double.
I think Muncy does so well, and he waits back. And you wait back with Anderson throwing as many changeups as he is, then you're able to hit it. And he waited, attacked it, and remember, he's not played much. Actually, first game since he returned from the minor leagues, but time a good swing to right field and a 1-out double for him. Waiting back sometimes is very important. In this case, it really helped Muncy.
So 1 out. Go ahead run at second. Here's Semien. Semien takes the first pitch low. Hit a fly ball to right field to end the 2nd inning. Again in the dirt, and the count is 2-0. Mariners are leading the Twins 2-1 in the 9th inning. Of course, the Twins, the second wild card team right now in the American League, with teams hot on their heels. Pop-up foul, a fastball in on the hands. So 2-1 the count. Sogard will be next. A couple of shots for the A's to get a run home. Anderson knows he has first base open. Just going to lay one right down the middle.
Well, he's got a lot of confidence in the changeup. 3-2 to Butler to strike him out. Got Kent on the changeup, the ball that was in the dirt. It's up to the catcher, Yan Gomes. Call it.
A little high, and it's a walk. Second walk issued by Anderson, so 2 on 1 out for Sogard.
Second baseman, number 28, Aaron Sogard.
He's trying to break the 1-1 tie. Sogard, 265 the average with runners in scoring position. He hit a fly ball to center field in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 7 in the series. Down the left field line, and it is going to be into the seats. And a nice play. Gentleman with a holy Toledo shirt on.
And a glove in the front row. Scheller running a long way, but really no chance. And
had a youngster in mind when he caught it. So 0-1 to Sogard. And that's a base hit right field. Here comes Muncy. Here comes Chisenhall's throw. It is there, and they called him out. Terrific throw by Chisenhall on a bang-bang play at the plate. Hayes will check it, obviously.
Well, Sogard hitting the ball hard, and maybe a little bit too hard, because Chisenhall was able to charge it. Charged it quickly, and hey, when you're not scoring runs, not surprising Mike Gallega's going to send him. And Chisenhall with a strong throw, and that was bang bang. Tried to get it with the hand, but it got him on the hip. Did Gomes with the tag, so he did it properly. Caught it one hand, didn't really block the plate without the ball. All those things factored in, and it's a good throw, great throw by Chisenhall. It's his game so far. Tied him with a home run, and
there's another hit. Chisenhall has it. They're going to wave home Simeon. Throw to the plate is cut off. Throw to third is wide. 1 run has already scored. Sogard's going to come in to score, and the A's are going to get 2 runs out of it. Santana cut it off, and he threw it wide, and that allowed the second run to score, so it's 3-1.
What are the odds of it happening back to back? But it does. But with 2 outs, a little bit better break off second base. This time to throw a little bit offline, so Santana cut it. Really trying to get the runner at third before the run scored. But in his hurry, throw over through Urshela, and he's able to pick up another run, because a ball in foul territory here is going to be a run.
So single RBI, E3. And when the dust settles, Fold is at third. And a good throw to third, and they probably would have had Sogard.
But I think his run was going to score. That's the key, because there, Simeon running hard to make sure as the throw came to the plate. And the fact that it was going to be a play at the plate, Simeon was running hard all the way, not thinking about the throw being cut and going to third. So Santana helps the A's, and by the way, Folt ends up at third himself with the RBI and the overthrow in the air.
So here's Vogt. Vogt 0 for 2 tonight. down and in, and now it's 2-0. 2 outs and 2 runs in. Lays off the high fastball, and now it's 3-0. Bullpen is quiet. Vogt peeking all the way, and it's right in there for a strike. So double walk, single, and throw in the air, and 2 runs have scored. Grounded towards second. Aviles has it, and his throw is wide. But Santana somehow kept his foot on the bag. Side retired. So a crazy inning. The A's get 2 runs, and we're going to the 6th. It's the A's 3, and the Indians 1.
The A's Weber sauces and seasonings barbecue terrace, which includes a pregame barbecue meal and a game ticket in a private seating area. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's, or you can visit athletics.com/BBQ. And it's a good place to enjoy a game, have some good food, and maybe catch a home run ball, because that's a perfect area for shots down the left field line.
So Aviles leading it off here in the top of the 6th inning. And Brooks now pitching with a 3-1 lead. Oh, tough hop.
Good hands make a friend. Yeah, Scotty, see how he catches the ball, double hop, and then he walks the ball over and hands it to a fan. You don't want to throw the ball, you want to hand it to him.
Sogard backhand nicely. Aviles is out.
You know how much we talk about the 3-0, the predictable pitch. You look at Stephen Vogt. This is a 3-0. Look at the location of this pitch right there, right down the middle. Now he goes 3-1. And look at the pitch that Anderson throws. Sinker away, roll over, ground ball to second base. And you know, again, sometimes hitters get green lights. We don't know if they do or don't, but a pitcher typically 3-0 is going to say, here, here's a fastball. It's going to be kind of a BP fastball. And I'd say that if you're given the green light and there's a 3-0 fastball, you let it go. And that's a perfect example. And I again go back to Jed Lowry saying the predictable pitch. That's something that some guys can swing 3-0, others can't.
And now it's 0-2 to Kipnis. Kipnis is 1 for 10 in this series. Tonight he's hit a couple of fly balls to left field. And he swings and misses, and that is strikeout number 4 for Brooks.
Another good changeup, and talked about predictability. How about the 3-2 fastball to Chisnell? A fastball down the middle, he hit a home run, and then 0-2. So the key, yes, get ahead of the hitters, then you can do what you want to do. And Stephen Vogt called a changeup, floated away, and it is a good changeup from Aaron Brooks, and those family and friends like it.
Here's Lindor, first pitch down and in. Lindor, a couple of ground outs, one to third and one to second. And that one up the middle, and that's going to get through for a hit. Hit number 3 for the Indians. So Brantley a single in the first, the Chisenhall homer in the 5th, and this hit by Lindor in the 6th. That's the 3 hits for the Tribe.
And if it hit that more in the sweet part of the bat, it had been a roll over to second base, but got it towards the end, but yet enough and hard enough to get it in center field.
So Brantley will get an at bat here in the top of the 6th. There's 73 pitches thrown by Aaron Brooks. Lindor with a good lead. And there's the changeup. Oh, that's been a good pitch for him tonight.
And that's why Stephen Vogt continues to call it. And saw Bourne swing at 3 changeups, all out of the strike zone in the dirt. Kipnis striking out in the 0-2 changeup. See if he wiggles his fingers. That's another. There it is. And then towards the inside, bring it back towards the middle.
Muncy over. Foul territory. He's got it. Side retired. So hitting a runner left, bottom of the 6th coming up. And it's the Athletics 3 and the Indians 1.
Wired from the Kansas City Royals. Good fastball there for a strikeout, but he's had a very good changeup. Got Bourne with 3 consecutive. Family and friends like that. They didn't particularly like this one, though. Chisnell, a solo home run. That's it, though. That's all he's given up. In addition to Brantley's single and Lindor's single, and Sam Folds with a single. He would score a run, and the A's would actually score another one on this overthrow by Santana. down the third base line. So 1 run scored. Sogard scored the other. The A's leading it right now, 3-1. And Brooks has pitched well. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. Good line for Aaron Brooks. 6 innings pitched, 1 run, just the home run.
So here's Reddick. Reddick, Butler, and Davis. She's 0 for 2. Takes a strike. 1-1 the count. Curve stays high. So 5 hits for the Athletics. 3 coming in the 5th inning. Shallow center. We're Bourne is under it, and he's got it. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here's Butler.
Now batting designated hitter, 16, Billy Butler.
Billy Butler singled and scored in the 2nd, then struck out in the 4th. A little pop-up, and Santana grabs it. 2 quick outs.
Celebrate the A's fancy footwear with the White Cleats t-shirt giveaway presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort on Saturday, August the 8th. That would be 1 week from today. One of the Oakland franchise's most recognizable and iconic trademarks, the White Cleats, were the brainchild of Charlie Finley and have been a staple for more than 4 decades. Get your tickets for this popular giveaway day now at athletics.com or by calling 877-493-BALL.
So 2 outs. Here's Davis. Cody Anderson looking for a quick inning. First pitch strike to Davis, who has doubled and hit a fly ball to center field. Did he hold up? Yes, he did.
See a lot of body move forward, and like Davis did, and that could have been a swing. In fact, it happened a couple of at-bats ago before he doubled, and it's called a strike. This time, no.
So now Ike behind in the count, 1-2. Tip stays right at home plate, and the count stays 1-2.
What's the catcher, Yan Gomes? Where does he get it? Yes,
of course.
Just check the padding, make sure the padding's there, and you're okay.
Missed outside with a fastball. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts for Cody Anderson. Walk scored last inning. Grounded toward Aviles. He's got it. That's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Cody Anderson. And we're moving to the 7th inning at the Coliseum. It's the A's with a 3-1 lead. Ago. That's Mike Eldreddy. He got the game-winning hit. He scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 11th inning. The final 2 coming on that base hit by Mike Eldreddy came off Jeff Russell, and the A's defeated the Rangers right here at the Coliseum. So Aldo's got to walk off in the green and gold. Fits right in.
Stan Javier. Donna La Rosa. Wow, look at all those games. Babaleo, strength and conditioning.
Babaleo had his own uni. That's pretty good.
That's right. Aldo, bench coach, and he is so happy to be able to go home off days and spend time with him.
Has there ever been a trainer that has his own number?
He was a strength and conditioning coach.
So that's right. Yeah. Has there ever been a strength and conditioning coach that had his own number?
Mike Enrique.
That's nice. He's on the roster. Number 46. 1-1 to Santana. 1-2 to Santana. Good pitch on the inside corner. Pitch number 79 coming up for Aaron Brooks. And it's ripped foul.
Scotty's got some competition.
Yeah, that was a nice play. Lefty reached out right at the last minute.
Clanked it, but he saved some relief pitchers.
So 2-2 to Santana. Gomes to follow, then Chisenhall here in the top of the 7th. He's trying to get their first win in this series. Foul right behind home plate. Bullpen still quiet. And another foul ball. Speed pitch from Brooks.
Pitch in the 7th inning with 82 pitches. Very good outing for Brooks in his Oakland debut.
Another foul ball. Santana doesn't get cheated, but he's got a very good eye. He's always drawn a lot of walks. This year, 2nd in the American League in walks. Inside corner, strike 3 called, and Santana knew it. Number 1.
Amazing how quickly Stephen Vogt came out from behind the plate to throw to what would be shortstop where Muncy was positioned, but you have to wonder if he's hearing the call from the umpire. Watch how quickly it comes out. He knows it's a strike, but there's some umpires that we never hear them. You see the call late, but Stephen Vogt's already throwing the ball around the infield. They kind of grant, indicating strike. If they make a noise, it's usually a strike. I think all parties realized it was going to be strike 3.
So 1 away for Yan Gomes. First pitch just a bit high.
Larry Barnett running so loud you could hear him up here. So you always knew it was strike 3 before he raised his right arm.
There's a hard hit ball. Simeon, what a play. Gets up. His throw is not in time. Terrific play to get a glove on it. But it'd be a hit for Gomes.
Well, there's not much of a chance once he caught the ball and then stumbled a little bit. And at that point, don't even throw it. Threw it into the ground. And good job, Ike Davis, coming off the bag to make sure it was not going to get past him. But great effort, great play. And maybe if he kept his feet initially, might have been able to throw him out. Has a very strong arm, but that little stumble right there. And that's, the one thing, again, you see him diving up the middle, diving to his right. Those are always important to runner at second. Keep a runner from scoring, maybe.
That one is hit right at Reddick, who comes in, grabs the line drive, and that's the second out. So 2 outs.
Now batting.
And here's Urshela.
Number 39.
There's the breakdown.
Urshela.
So Urshela will hit. Astros finished off the Diamondbacks. That's a 9-2 final. Keuchel got his 13th win. And Rodriguez gets up for the A's. Hank Conger hit a grand slam in that game. And Carlos Correa, the young shortstop, hit 2 home runs. He's got 12 now. We have not seen him yet.
Good. See him next weekend. 4-game series starting Thursday following the 3 against the Orioles. He's to see the Orioles for the first time starting on Monday. 3 games, and then the Astros in for 4 to close out the homestand.
Looking at the Astros lineup, they're going Altuve, Gomez, and Correa. Not too bad, huh? Top 3 hitters. Right to Sogard, who will go to second. Get the out there. Side retired. 7 strong innings from Aaron Brooks. And we have reached the 7th inning stretch. A's hanging on to a 3-1 lead.
By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
So bottom of the 7th inning, A's 3, Indians 1. Indian starter Cody Anderson still out there. He'll face Mark Canada to lead it off. So Anderson at 83 pitches. Zach McAllister is loosening up. Canna, Muncy, and Simeon here in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch is line foul. Twins came back to meet the Mariners 3-2. Kurt Suzuki had a walk-off single, and the Twins scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th and beat the Mariners 3-2.
And that probably right there says everything about the Mariners season right there.
So they had a win in hand on the road, but could not finish it off. I was looking today, Ray, at this wild card thing in the American League, and as I coming into today, 6 teams are within 3.5 games of the 2nd wild card.
Wow, it's amazing.
And you got 2 months to play. Every one of those 6 teams has to think they got a shot.
Well, even the teams that don't have a shot have to be thinking with 2 months to go. Who knows what can happen? You put a nice winning streak.
I mean, the Indians are not one of those 6, but coming into today, they're 5 back of the 2nd wild card. It's just not a ridiculous number. Right. Now, there's a bunch of teams in front of you, of course, but
how many of the teams are you going to play? Because if the schedule works out in the next 2 months, and the one thing I've never liked is whenever people say, well, in order to do this, you have to win you know, you could throw those out because you get on a winning streak. You win 10, 12 in a row, which is possible.
Sure.
You can throw out all those other numbers because then all you have to do is play 500. You know. But no, I just think that he's like last year would like to have won the division, not had to worry about that one game play in if they lost to Kansas City. But you know, it has kept a lot of clubs interested.
Three and two to Canna. Broken bat grounder. Lindor charges and he throws in time. So that's out number one. Hey, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. Know it all with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by Hyundai, and it's tonight at 10:30, and it's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. As always, our baseball highlights, and you got Raiders, you got 49ers. We'll get reports from both of those camps. Kelly Johnson and Henry Wilford will host. One out here in the seventh. CSN. Our company. We've been talking about that wild card, Ray. How about the series this week? The Twins at the Blue Jays. 4-game series. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Coming up this next week, I should say. And again, Twins own that second wild card, but barely.
Alvarez just airmailed one that's in left field. They're trying to hold up play as he was getting loose, and the ball went over the head of Jesse Chavez, and Otero retrieving it. As Brantley said, nope, not going to retrieve it. And then there's a souvenir.
It's an old trick.
Yeah. Yeah, but the first one. We were talking last night about, I think it was last night or the night before, about Dustin Ackley being traded to the Yankees and how different he was going to look because what he had to do to go to play the Yankees. Did you see the picture of Dustin Ackley?
He did it right away.
There's no way you could look at Dustin Ackley the way he is right now and say that's Dustin Ackley.
I agree. I did see it.
I mean,
but we said Ike Davis looks different, and he just trimmed his beard. Ackley had a big beard. He just shaved it completely off.
And then with the crew cut, and you said this is him without the beard, and him. There's no way you could say that was the same person.
That's a good call.
But that's when you play for the Yankees, you have to do that, and he did it immediately.
3-2 to Muncy. Reaches for it, fouls it back.
I would think if Cody Anderson shaved, those fans who were cheering for him say, who is that guy?
Who is that guy?
Ackley's was about 2 or 3 times bigger than that beard. That's well trimmed there. And it's his size. He can do anything he wants to do.
Another 3-2 to Muncy. It's grounded right side. Aviles has been busy. And that's out number 2. Royals beat the Blue Jays 7-6, and it was a wild one. It was one of those games that you're best to not be cheering for anybody. Just sit back and enjoy. It was crazy. The game ended with the Blue Jays first and third, 2 outs. Josh Donaldson, the hitter, and he grounded out. It was a wild game.
He hit a 2-run home run, and Zobrist hit a couple of home runs.
Yes, he did.
And actually, I think the Blue Jays at one time had a 5-1 lead.
Yeah, they did. Exactly. Batista hit a couple of home runs. They had a 5-1 lead after 5 innings and did not finish it off. So 2 good teams going at it there, but the Blue Jays lose. So the Blue Jays fall back to 2 games behind the Twins for that second wild card. But as I said, Twins at Blue Jays next week for 4. One and 1 to Simeon. Just a bit inside. Orioles beat the Tigers 6-2. Osman over Sanchez. Orioles are getting hot. They've won 7 out of 8. We will see them in the next row. Left field and deep. And that baby's gone. Simeon homers. It's 4-1 A's lead.
Andrew Miller in New York. That series back at Yankee Stadium, and good one here because that helped get another run for the Athletics, and a good swing by Marcus Semien. Great swing.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Hit that sent him into the dugout was this, a 2-1 fastball to Marcus Semien. The sound of it said it all. Great swing, head down, great extension, and Marcus Semien, his ninth, and I'm sure he'd like to get to at least the number on his back and beyond. That would be the number 10, but Marcus Semien, a great shot, good home run, and considering he's got a chance to play every day, that's a very good swing.
So here's Zach McAllister, who's pitching out of the bullpen now for the Indians. And doing a pretty good job. 62 strikeouts in 48 innings. Seen him quite a bit as a starter. But with the rotation full, he's out of the bullpen now. 6 2/3 for Anderson. 4 runs, 3 earned runs. One and one to Sogard.
Pitchers would tell you, through Pomeranz has said it, he's warming up in the A's bullpen, and it's just a matter. In the big leagues, you want to be there, and I'm sure you might want to be a starter, but if it's a bullpen job, you'll take it. And for McAllister, good job in the rotation, but now for Terry Francona out of the pen.
Lindor has it, side retired. Marcus Semien, home run number 9 on the year. Pads the A's lead, so it's now 4-1 Athletics. Brooks is still in there. Billy Burns comes in the game in center field. So Burns in center. Sam Fuld slides over to left. Mark Canha is out of the game. Pitch number 91 coming up from Brooks, and it's lined toward left center, and that's a hit. So Michael Bourne, after striking out his first 2 at-bats tonight, lines a single leading off the 8th.
As we saw last night and commented tonight, look at the location of this pitch compared to what he swung at, especially his last at-bat when he swung the changeups in the dirt. Last night he hit a similar pitch to right center for a double.
So here's Mike Aviles. First pitch is a strike. Oh, he had it on a graphic earlier, Ray. Eric O'Flaherty designated for assignment today. That was the move. Brooks to the 25-man roster. So whatever happens with Eric O'Flaherty, we wish him best of luck. He hooks up with another team. He really struggled this year.
Yeah, he did. It's too bad because he's got good stuff. I mean, the A's actually had signed him from Atlanta, where he had very good numbers, and just did not work out here, especially this year after coming back from the Tommy John surgery and feeling pretty good about himself. But the ERA got inflated so quickly, it's very hard to bring it back down.
And that one is belted to left. That's trouble. Fuld going back, and he's at the wall, and he makes the catch. Sam Fuld got back there quickly, right in front of the wall. He grabbed it.
What did you think was going to happen in the result of that ball?
It sounded good.
And Bob Melvin, I think, of the line drive by Bourne, and this ball off the bat is of Aviles, and it sounded like it was going to be a one-run game. Maybe just a little bit towards the end of the bat, because Sam Fuld casually went back, warning track, and looked, it just went straight down at that point. So
what a performance in his A's debut, and a great round of applause for Aaron Brooks. Not too shabby. Just 5 hits, 1 run. That run was the Chisenhall home run. No walks and 5 strikeouts. So nice
no
job
walks.
tonight.
No walks. That's impressive. Because you pitch at the major league level and you go 7 1/3, pitch in the 8th inning, you don't have any walks. That will impress a lot of people. So Pomerantz will try to do his part. He had been warming up in the bullpen.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog expert. Pomerantz against Kipnis. One away here in the top of the 8th inning. Good breaking ball, snaps right in there for a strike. 1-1. Kipnis is 0 for 3. Couple of fly balls to left field and a strikeout. Another curve outside corner. 1-2. Bourne is the runner at first. Outfield shifted toward left center for Kipnis. Shaw is in the Indians bullpen. His bullpen is quiet. Popped up, Vogt coming back, and it's going to drop into the seats. First row, right on the other side of the net. So 1-2 the count. Lindor, a switch hitter, will be next. Fastball away at 92 miles an hour. Pomeranz knocks it down, scrambles after it, picks it up, throws to first, not in time. For a split second, he could not find it, and it was really at his feet, but he was looking for it.
That went from the possibility of a double play to 2 runners on, because just like you said, he couldn't find it, thought he had it, stumbled, and then a quick throw to first, and good curveball. See, he looked, he thought he had it in his glove. When he looked, and the ball had fallen out of his glove, so he'd be given an error on the play.
So 2 on, 1 out. Here's Lindor. So the 91st error this year for the A's. They're 4th in this series. Lindor goes after the first pitch and pops it just below us. Lindor is 1 for 3, singled in the 6th inning. He's grounded out a couple times. Four for 10 in the series. Curve and a good take, so the count even at 1-1. Rodriguez up again for the A's. Strike with a fastball. Make that an off-speed pitch. Shaw's been down there for a while, so he's ready.
Bernard Shaw.
Bernard Shaw. Not close to a 2 count. Everybody scrambling to get out of the way, including the umpire.
Stephen Vogt had to reach up and make a play on a ball that he was looking for down and in, and ended up and away. You do not want 2 runners to advance. That's almost like a ball in the dirt and a save.
Swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking ball. Don't know that it was a strike, but he swung and missed.
Wanted to go down and in with it, and again left it outside, but just the spin on it, the knuckle curve. You can see the knuckle and the spin of the baseball, and Lindor just reaching for a ball that was way off of the plate.
missed it by a lot. Well, here's Michael Brantley, 2 on, 2 out. Brantley, a .293 hitter against left-handed pitching, so he does a good job against lefties. Outside, Santana would be next. He's a switch hitter. Pop up, foul territory. So the count 1-1.
And the Pomeranz going to try to do if he throws a curveball, and it's the knuckle curve. Try to throw it hard and away from Brantley. Do not want to leave it in the middle plate, middle part of the plate inside. That would be considered a hanger. You don't want to do that to a lefty. So that or the good fastball outside do not give him a chance to pull the ball.
So Brantley waits on the 1-1 from Pomeranz as Vogt sets up outside. Good swing on a fastball, and now it's 1-2.
The old theory here, and it's a good one, and you see how Fold in left field is shading Brantley to hit the ball that direction, and ideally you want to try to force him to hit the ball really center field to left field and not pull it. He has the power to do it. He's hit 8 home runs, but always capable.
Bourne at second. Kipnis at first. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a fastball. So Brantley strikes out, and the Indians strand a pair in the top of the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 4-1 Athletics. Here's our game summary for tonight, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 1-5-1 for the Indians, 4-6-1 for the Athletics. A couple of rookie right-handers, Cody Anderson and Aaron Brooks. Brooks making his A's debut, and he pitched into the 8th inning. He was terrific. Gave up a home run, that's it. Semien with a home run for the Athletics. So the A's trying to break their little 3-game losing streak. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and small experts. Brian Shaw comes in, 3rd pitcher of the night for the Indians. 1-1 with a very fine 1.77 ERA. And this is the guy who can't throw it straight. He's got a great cutter. So he'll face Sam Fuld, the leadoff man, here in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch, a strike. Fuld, Vogt, and Reddick. Sam has walked, grounded out, and an RBI single. That was in the 5th inning. It's a whack at that one. Lifts it foul down the left field line.
Actually, a pretty good outing for Sam Fuld, getting the start in center field. He's moved to left field with Billy Burns coming in, but a walk, big RBI base hit in the 2-run 5th inning, and ended up at third base with the air by Santana. So involved in the 2 runs to put the A's ahead. Of course, then the home run by Semien.
There's a line drive to center field, and that's a base hit.
A second hit for Sam Fuld, and after the big one to drive in the A's second run. Sam Fuld followed the RBI, the base hit by Sogard. Chisenhall thrown out 1, tried to make it 2, but Marcus Semien running, Santana cut, and that was a good break for the A's. Ball going down near the A's bullpen. And Chisenhall throws a little bit offline, but the odds of an outfielder throwing out back-to-back runners trying to score,
slim.
And the A's are fortunate that it was none, because it was pretty good arm by Chisenhall, and he showed it. It's a third baseman whose right field arm has been very good.
Learning how to play right field.
Yeah, and with that kind of an arm, he'll find some room out there, especially if he continues to throw as well as he did in the 5th inning.
First pitch to Vogt is foul. Stephen Vogt is in a slump. He's 0 for 3 tonight, and he's 0 for his last 24. Tough month of July, so he was looking forward to the calendar flipping over to August. Reach for that one a little bit, and now it's 0-2. In the month of August, the A's play a total of 28 games, 15 at home, 13 on the road. Jeff Manship's got the team that they will see the most is the Baltimore Orioles. They'll play 7 games against the Orioles, 3 at home, 4 in Baltimore.
Well, at least the A's didn't. The Twins last year, the A's saw in September and didn't see for 5 months. And then they get all the September call-ups and don't even know the guys who are there to start the season, much less in September.
It is strange, though. Yeah. I mean, for us to not have seen the Orioles.
Right. It's going to be 106 games before the A's see them.
Closer Majica getting loose. That next road trip, the A's will go to Toronto and Baltimore, so that will not be an easy trip. Fuld runs, throw to second base, not in time, stolen base. Pitch was called the ball.
And the way Gomes throws, you have to run on the pitcher. And the great Ricky Henderson said Ricky always stole it on the pitcher, and that was a very good jump by Sam Fuld. He did take a peek back just in the event. Cutter, strong quick throw by Gomes, and that close at second base, even with a great jump by Sam Fuld. Ooh, left hand almost hit the shoe of Lindor to keep him from getting the bag. That's maybe why they're going to take a look at it.
And again, if you watch that slide all the way through, Sam Fuld came off the bag. And some infielders will hold the tag, others have not been able to do that. I guess it's something you got to concentrate on if you're. They like to do a slap tag quick, but if you watch, Fuld comes off the bag both with his hand and his foot.
He's going to make the tag. Watch the left hand hit the foot there, and then the tag.
See there, look, his foot and his hand were off just for a short period of time. But the tag was not held.
It was not. Yeah, that's the key. It wasn't. I think they might be going right here. It did his hand get to the bag by hitting his foot.
His foot.
Yeah, because he could see the hand change. But like we saw last time with Lindor, who was picked off at first, watch the fingers of Sam Fuld. Fingers up, palm down.
That's a good call, Ray. His hand did hit the left foot of Lindor, and that slowed down his getting to the bag time.
Terry Francona looking at the replay. Left foot, I mean, if you know, and you see more and more infielders, whether third or second base, in this case Lindor, look at the foot, put the foot down, and really he could put it down even closer or farther to where Sam Fuld would never have gotten to the bag, at least this. And I think it slid off the foot maybe just enough that it was, his hand was able to get on the bag. And you know what? Probably nothing definitive to show that he was going to be out. So the call on the field, well, Lindor thought he got him, but I think in future maybe you'll see Lindor put the foot actually in front of the bag, because if you know the guy's sliding hand first, he's not going to hurt you with his hands.
Nope.
Coming in with the cleats, you're going to get out of the way. But you have an idea who does what, and you see infielders do that. It's a pretty good play.
On the ground to Aviles. So Vogt gets the runner over, so a productive out, is Fuld now at third with one out. Well, the A's and Indians will wrap up this series tomorrow, and it'll be Sonny Gray and Trevor Bauer. Coverage begins at 12:30 with A's pregame live. You get complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The home of A's baseball is Comcast Sportsnet. So that's tomorrow. Here's Reddick, who takes just a little bit low. Reddick is 0 for 3 tonight. He's 1 for 11 in the series. Infield in. So Sonny Gray tomorrow will be going for his 12th win of the year.
A's have a 3-run lead, and while it is a save situation now, the A's could care less about that. They want to get the run in. They'll take a 4-run lead, and then he could come in and try to finish it off and forget about the statistic.
1-2 now. Reddick chased that one.
We've commented about how Josh Reddick has had some great at-bats thinking opposite field, and I don't know if he's just not recognizing the pitches down, but against Anderson and now against Shaw, the pitches that are down are a little bit difficult for him to pick up, swinging over and not making contact.
That one bounced to first. That's not going to get it done. So Fuld holds. Santana steps on the bag for the second out. So Reddick 0 for 4 tonight, and it'll be up to Butler to get a 2-out hit.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 16, Billy Butler.
Butler singled and scored, struck out and fouled out. 1 for 3. 1 for 9 in the series. Shaw, long look now. He's ready. And there's a shot. Base hit center field. Fuld trots in to score. 2-out hit for Butler. And it gets a run home, and it makes it a 5-1 A's lead. So Butler gets RBI number 47.
Aaron Brooks still on the bench trying to see if the A's going to hang on to this win, and that is a big hit on the cutter. Like you said, the ball's not straight, and that one moved hard into center field. 4 of the 5 runs coming with 2 outs. Another good night on DeMarcus Simeon's home run. Actually, that one also came with 2 outs. A good night for the Athletics all around.
Your attention, please.
So Shaw faces 4 hitters. He is done for the night. We'll be back.
Jeff Manship.
presented by Chevron. It's Saturday, August 22nd. All are encouraged to wear your Star Wars costumes and enjoy the post-game show from the outfield grass. No space is limited. Purchase a special ticket package to receive an R2-D2 meeting. Visit athletics.com/Star Wars for more information. A's have added a run here in the 8th. So it's now 5-1. Jeff Manship trying to get the final out. And so he'll face Ike Davis. Davis. First pitch foul ball. Davis has a double tonight. Was in the second inning, helped the A's get their first run. He has also hit a fly ball to center field, and he has grounded out. Story tonight, though, is Aaron Brooks, the youngster, making his A's debut and pitched into the 8th inning, and he was great. He's going to hang around and enjoy this one.
Stephen Vogt telling him how good he was. That's what you want your catcher to do, tell you that you're great. Probably tell him also you get 3 more outs, you got to win.
Well deserved win. Urshela can't get it. Lindor does. His throw is in time. So nice play by Lindor. Side retired. Insurance run for the A's. So 9th inning coming up. A's 5, Indians 1. So 5-1. A's lead the Indians, trying to wrap it up and get Aaron Brooks his first major league win. Edward Mejica comes in when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So Mejica tried to bounce back from last night. He was the losing pitcher last night. He's back out there tonight. Not a save situation. That one is popped up, and it's going to be playable for Muncy. And Max Muncy has it, and that's out number 1.
Here's tonight's Honda Player of the Game. How about Aaron Brooks? Very deserving as 7 1/3 innings, no walks, 5 strikeouts, just the 1 home run by Chisenhall. Excellent changeup. Actually, both pitchers tonight with a very good changeup. And Aaron Brooks just doing a great job pitching into the 8th inning. A lot of friends and family here as he Game film. Oh boy. Blue. Yeah, that's good. Trying to get it. Trying to finish it off.
So 0-1 the count to Yan Gomes. Not sure what's going to happen as far as Aaron Brooks. Stick around.
Now,
Felix Dubront is part of the equation as well.
If tonight's any indication, you think he'd get another start, wouldn't you?
We shall see.
He hopes so, and pitched well enough tonight. And major accomplishment for a young man to come to a new organization. Barely just arrived.
Yep.
And then get thrown into the rotation and make a start.
Well, he went to Nashville, but never started a game for Nashville. So he was there briefly.
Yeah, because Ovis was just traded, what, Tuesday?
Yeah.
And that's when it was done.
2-2 now to Yan Gomes. Checks his bat. Did not break his bat. Drew Pomeranz, 2/3 of an inning. Reddick's there. Now comes in, makes the catch. So 2 away here in the 9th inning. He's 1 out away from win number 46 on the year. We get a little momentum going into Sonny Gray's start.
Number 8, Lonnie Chisenhall.
Orioles come to town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it's up to Chisenhall.
Good night for him, and it has to be impressed with the way he's played. Terry Francona also with the way Chisenhall has played. One time he was the third baseman, and it was his job. And like you said, learn to play the outfield. And Matt Urshela has done a very good job at third. He may be able to hold that down for a while.
Vogt sets up outside, and Chisenhall fouls it back. And now the count 1-2. He struck him out. Nice, easy 9th inning. And Aaron Brooks, congratulations, young man. You earned it. Your first major league win, much to the delight of family and friends.